There's a shot in this video that looks like I was standing 3 meters away. I was standing on the other side of the river. And this is what took it. Chapter 1. The Travel Dilemma. For all of you who travel with heavy gear, imagine one single lens that covers everything, from sweeping landscapes to distant details, all while cutting your backpack weight in half. Last summer I spent 2 weeks on a Greek island called Tassos. I brought this lens. I never took it off, not once. That sounds like a brag. It isn't. It is a compromise, and I want to tell you exactly what it cost me before I tell you why I would make it again. Chapter 2. Smooth as silk. The zoom mechanism is the first thing that hits you. Cheap Superzooms feel gritty, or they stick. This one glides. During an all-day shoot, that's not a luxury, it's a necessity. 50 centimeters at 200 millimeters. That turns a travel lens into something that sees things your eye skips over. I didn't buy this lens for this, but it's the reason I kept it. Pairing this with a compact body like the OM-5 or the GX80 makes the whole thing fun to carry. You take it anywhere without overthinking it. Chapter 3. Two sides of the coin. Photo performance is where this lens excels. The sharpness holds up across most of the range, better than a lens with this much reach has any right to be. Video is a different story. There is no optical stabilization in this lens, none. At 200 millimeters, a 400 millimeter equivalent, the body's ibis is fighting alone. Chapter 4. The cost. The aperture closes down as you zoom. At the long end, you're at f6.3, and on micro four thirds, f6.3 is not f6.3 depth of field. It behaves like f12 on a full frame equivalent, which means at 200 millimeters this lens has almost no ability to separate a subject from its background. If you came here for bokeh, you're in the wrong place, possibly the wrong system. I told you, the sharpness holds up across most of the range. Most. At 200 millimeters, the image goes soft. That's the end of the sentence. There is no version of it that flatters this lens. But here's the part that took me a whole trip to figure out. In photographs, I barely mind it. The subject sits in the center holds up, and the edges are somebody else's problem. In video, I mind it a lot, because a video frame doesn't sit still. The subject drifts out of that center. Your eyes wanders across the whole frame instead of landing on one point, and the softness that a photo hides, the motion puts on display. So 200 millimeters is fine for stills, and it's the weakest thing this lens does on video, which is unfortunate because 200 millimeters is exactly why you bought it. By evening, the problems compound. A dark lens gives the autofocus less to work with, so it starts hunting. And to keep the shutter fast enough, at 400 millimeters equivalent, the ISO climbs on a sensor that was never going to win that fight. So the prime comes out of the bag, which is the honest answer to the one lens fantasy. It's one lens for about 14 hours a day. The other 10, it's a paperweight. And the 10 it can't do are the ones people put on their walls. One more thing, and I'll stop. In harsh sunlight on high contrast edges, you get purple fringing. It's there, I can see it. But I showed these photos to people and nobody mentioned it. Nobody ever mentioned it. It's one click in Lightroom and it's the kind of flow only the person who bought this lens goes looking for. Which I'll admit is most of what a review is. Chapter 5. What it actually buys you. It rained on me once, lightly. I didn't stop and I didn't cover it. The weather sealing did its job. Here's the thing nobody tells you about a Superzoom. You don't buy it for sharpness. You buy it for the shots you didn't miss. Every lens changes a decision. Every decision is 15 seconds. And the bird lives in 3. I don't have a photo of the lens change. Nobody does, but I've missed thing during one. Chapter 6. The verdict. So, is it worth it? At its launch price, this was a specialized tool. Today, you can find it for around 500 euros, and that completely changes the argument. At that price, you can buy a used GX80 to put it on for the cost of a nice dinner. So let me be precise about who this is for. There are better Superzooms than this one, but they're in other systems, and they're bigger, heavier and more expensive, which means they're not really competitors. They're a different category. This lens will give you excellent results, but mostly once you know exactly where it fails. Shoot it below 200, give it light, put it on a body with good stabilization, do that, and it rarely disappoints. That's a compromise. Some people can live inside it very happily. I did for a whole 2 weeks, and I didn't think about gear once. If you can't live with it, that's not a criticism of you, it just means you should look somewhere else. It's not the sharpest lens I own, it is the one I've taken the most photographs with. Chapter 7. The Bridge. A year after Thassos, I climbed a mountain in Greece with almost exactly the opposite of this lens. Full frame, one body, half the range and twice the weight. That's a different story. It's up there if you want it.